Hey everybody, this is Ozark Prepper One. Just hanging out in the house tonight. A lot of high winds, a lot of drizzle and rain. We've had some of that, but I'll go ahead and mention a few things I've noticed. I've kind of unplugged from the social media stuff, but I want to touch on a subject here that affects everyone in every little small town, and that's your local newspaper. And they usually have a website. And if you notice, all the stories they have are slanted to the left politically, even in small town papers. And then if you look at the website design, it'll be the same design as the whatever Chicago News, or it would be the same as the St. Louis Post Dispatch. Their website's built exactly the same. And not only do they have the same website, they're spewing the same message. They have, the parent companies they get their information from, Reuters and Associated Press and other outlets like that. And they're spinning lies. They're using lack of information or misinformation in mass doses to brainwash people. And these old people are falling for it. Not all of them, but some of them. And the young people, a lot of the young people fall for it. And I don't blame the young people because they're young and they haven't experienced the hoodwinks that people get during life. The little tricks and the shysters, what we call them, where they trick people out of their earnings and their time. And the older generation should know better. They should know better. They've had more time to be at home. They've had more time to research, but they have not researched. Because some people never grow out of that keep up with the Jones mentality. They never grow out of that. They must have a nice shiny boat, and they must have a nice shiny vehicle. And if they don't have those things, they feel like they're naked. If they feel like something's missing in their life, if they don't have something to impress that one friend that has something also. Uh, if you have to do that to have real friends, then you need to check and see if they are really your friends. Uh, I have friends that uh, are half my age, but they have more success than I'll ever have in my whole lifetime. And I know this. And no matter how hard I try, I'll never achieve that success that they have. And I'm not envious. I'm not jealous. I'm actually impressed by their uh, business, what do you call it, prowess, to where they can just, you know, make good deals, good decisions, and turn out a success. That's amazing. And believe it or not, a lot of people that get success like that never anticipated that much success. They just made good decisions and it turned out good. Sometimes the stars line up for people and sometimes it don't. You know, you could have some people that do everything just right, but it's just the wrong time and it just doesn't work. And if you're aware of those things, you can kind of play it in your favor financially. But it's hard to do sometimes. Sometimes it's just not your turn to make that kind of money. Or the stars don't line up for you at that time. Like, let's say the people who bought into the Microsoft back in the 90s, how would they know that, you spend $20 and you're going to be a millionaire in no time, in a few years? Uh, that stuff just happened for those people overnight, and they had a great return on it. But I would look at your local news and look at what they're spewing. Back to that. Sorry about the jumping topics. But it's all slanted to the left, and the reason why they take all these small town papers and slant them to the left exactly like the big cities is to create the illusion that that's how big their narrative is and that's how big their support is, thinking that the population is believing the way the left believes. And that's not true. Right now people are angry, and people are angry across the world. They're tired of these little games. They just want to live and be free. We don't want any of this infringement on our rights, infringement on our freedoms. We don't want any of that crap at all. And you don't have to be a far right person. You don't have to be a far left person to think this way. You can be a far right guy when it comes to moral issues. You can be a far right person, but you may have a different belief on, say, a union in a workplace. Like me personally, this makes some people mad, some people it don't, but I have my reasons. I believe unions have their place, and I believe during the past 20 years we've really needed them. We really needed the not everywhere did we need them, but for example, small town USA. Big company moves to small town USA because they think, well, we can get these guys to work for nothing, and they'll be just thankful to do it. And maybe not nothing. Let's say they $2 or $3 an hour cheaper than the one they pay in the city to do it. Okay. But what they also do is like, well, not only will we pay those guys $2 or $3 less an hour, we're going to work them twice as hard. We're going to make them do twice the workload each person and get more money out of them. Now, what caused all this was when they shipped our jobs to China and Mexico and all these other little nations everywhere else in the world but here, So these companies that were still here decided, well, how can we compete with that? Oh, I know, we'll just abuse our own workers and pay them half as much. And then tell them, be thankful you have a job. And then gripe at them, why? Well, how come you couldn't make it to work today? You drive a 1970 Chevette. Why couldn't you make it in today? Because you probably all had these stories of when you were younger and you worked somewhere and you work with your coworkers. They come into work and they drove their old cars and they struggled. They'd break down in the parking lot. Sometimes you'd be leaving to go home and their car wouldn't start and you'd have to give them a ride home. I remember all that stuff. And I've been that guy. I've been that guy on the side of the road crawling under a vehicle, changing flat tires and fuel pumps and just all those things. And those struggles are usually when you're starting out. You're starting out maybe a couple years into it, a few years into it, and you're trying to get on your feet to where you're driving a reliable vehicle, you're living in a clean home. But those struggles shouldn't be there for somebody who's put their time in, for someone who's worked and been honest, who has treated the company as they would treat their most prized possessions, because they view the company as not just a meal ticket, but a career, or you think of your supervisors and your coworkers, and or if you're a supervisor, you think of the people that work under you as your fellow peers. People work with you, and you're glad to be there and hang with them, and you get a routine down. But there's supposed to be a payoff when you do that. You're not supposed to just barely survive. But the greed goes both ways. And you see it when you move to small town USA. Anywhere you see forests and stuff, you see people that are so greedy. They will cut down their whole front yard just so everyone can see their new home they built, or see the home they just bought that was once hidden, but now it's not, because they had to clear off all those beautiful trees just so the world can see their home as they drive by. Now, picture in your mind million people doing that, millions of people doing that. How many trees got cut down? Nobody thinks that way. They don't think it in mass. That's a lot of damage. Okay, and when we do that stuff, even though a person has a right to do anything, anything, we have so many rights, and I think we should have all of our rights. But we should have personal ethics, and we should have reverence for the nature and beauty that surrounds us. We shouldn't destroy it, because those at the top, they see that, and they look down on us as useless eaters and destructive ants. That's what they think of us. Okay, and you got to put yourself in their shoes. You got all that power in the world, and you see all these destructive ants destroying the world. And, they know more about the world than we do. They know more about this planet. They've been all around it. So they know what's going on. And the way they're looking at it is this world's being destroyed by these useless eaters and these ants, and they're just chopping up everything and using up everything. And they're looking at the numbers of us. There's like, man, these people just keep on breeding and making more, and there's they keep building more houses, and they keep building more subdivisions, building more apartments. Everything just keeps getting bigger and bigger and spread out more. And people keep buying useless crap they don't need. But it's I don't know, it's like a big expansion that never stops. And they think they're doing God's work by putting a stop to that. So there's like not trying to be devil's advocate, because the way they're trying to cure it is pretty evil. But this could have all been avoided through education and better morals. This country has been infiltrated since World War II. We've been infiltrated. And the people that infiltrated us have dual citizenship with another country. And doesn't mean those people are bad. The ones who have dual citizenship, they are bad. Those are bad people. They're very bad, terrible people. But the people of their culture are not bad people. They're just another people. They have their customs and the way they do things, but they can do that over there. They can do it here too, but they're not going to rule over us with that. Uh, I don't know. I keep getting off topic. It's one of those nights. But I would just prepare, put back some stuff. You know, don't just rush out and buy a bunch of crap you don't need. Just keep doing your routine. Some canned goods here, your medical supplies, your soaps. Make sure you got good footwear. Make sure you got eye drops. Uh, Make sure you have stuff to stay warm. And summer's going to come back around. Make sure you have stuff to take care of that. You know, you'll be sweaty and nasty. Make sure you have plenty of summer clothes and soaps, all that stuff. I'd say buy toothpaste, but use peroxide and then rinse with water. It works better. And, be be ready for anything. Who knows what tomorrow brings? But I guess I'm gonna get off of here because I'm jumped off topic so many times. I'd make a psychiatrist lose their mind. So you all have a great rest of your week. Ozark Prepper 1 out.